Seriously, what does this all mean? We're clones?
You sure we're clones?
It says the original Henry and Snoutzer got destroyed, so. And then the clones, there was a cloning experiment, and the experiment gone wrong, and we're sent to an unforeseen location. So yeah, we have to be clones, right?
I don't know if you can believe anything you read. Maybe it's all a lie.
Well, let's see. Maybe there is another clue in here that'll help us. Oh, here's something. It involves my missing left hand.
What about your missing left hand?
It says here that when the original Henry was created, it had a cannon that can fire out powerful blasts, and that cannon was attached to where the left hand was supposed to be. But upon creation, the creators that made Henry found that the creators the creators found out that the cannon and the tail were too much for them to handle, so they ended up cutting them off. And, hey, would you stop that?
I'm just looking at your hand to see if I see anything. I don't see anything for a tail, though. You don't have a nice tail like mine. I can use mine to swat the flies.
This is a good question, did you notice that while we were exploring, we saw that some creatures like those humans out there, they don't have tails, and then also I don't have a tail, but it says here that the original Henry did, and since I'm just a clone of what Henry was last seen like, that would mean I was made without a tail. But you have a tail, so why do some creatures have tails, but some don't?
Well, fish have tails so they can go through the water, and crocodiles do. They use it to push through the water.
Well, yeah, as we've seen, some creatures can use tails to climb and stuff. And then
You mean like monkeys and opossums?
yeah, but I mean, we're we're robot clones, so you know, we're not exactly living creatures. We're just beings pretending to be living creatures.
Okay. And what else?
Hmm. Well, I don't know. What do you have?
Let's see. Some animals use their tails, like, like, like scorpions. They have a stinger in them with poison, like a weapon.
Wait, how do you know this? We haven't come across a scorpion.
I don't know. My database has got a lot of weird stuff in it. Let me think.
Now that I'm thinking about it, I have all this knowledge inside me as well.
Ooh, you know anything else about other animals with other tails?
Um, well, some animals use their tails to help balance themselves.
Oh, you mean like cats and kangaroos?
Yeah, those types of animals.
Okay. Let me think. What else is in here? Wait a minute. I gotta get it to my brain to work. Okay.
I don't think it works like that, but
Yeah, it was worth a try. Let me think. What about? Let's see. What about lizards? When the enemy attacks them, they drop their tail so that it wiggles around and they take off and they run. So that way, they get away with it after the tail.
maybe.
And of course, me and
You just have a tiny small tail.
yeah, but I just to swat flies.
I don't know, it's not really long. It's kind of short.
I know. I'm kind of jealous of the horses. They got a really nice long tail and they can really whap
In
those
fact,
flies.
I don't as I've said before, I don't have a tail.
Yeah, but that's kind of hard for you to let's be honest, it's kind of hard for you to climb with only one hand. If you had both, it'd probably make it easier.
Well, I'm a copy of Henry, according to this. So,
Yeah, but you know what? It's too bad you're not like a starfish.
what does a starfish have to do with this?
Well, a starfish, if you cut off one of the starfish's arms, it takes a while, but eventually it grows back.
Well, I mean, we could. I mean, I could find replacement hands to attach here, since I am an android.
Yeah, I guess you could work. You could find something to replace that hand, but I don't exactly know what.
Yeah, that'll be tricky. And then, of course, finding something to replace the tail.
Yeah, that's another problem. Although, if you were like a thresher shark, you could use it to whap people. So, yeah, that would be kind of cool.
I mean, who knows what my tail looked like? It doesn't show, or what Henry's tail looked like. It doesn't show. It doesn't. This thing doesn't show what the cannon and the tail look like.
That's true.
It just says that upon creation they were just cut off.
Well, you sure your tail wasn't like, let me think.
You mean Henry's tail? Well, we are Henry and Snoutzer, but it says here that we're just copies of them.
Well, no, I was just thinking maybe your tail was like,
You mean Henry's tail? The original Henry's tail, I mean.
You're making me confused and giving me a headache.
Okay. It says, read this, okay? You reading this? It says right here that the original Henry and Snoutzer were destroyed, and that there was a cloning experiment gone wrong. So we're the clones. We're not the originals.
Well, if I'm a clone, I'm a pretty good job, I think, of a clone. They did a good job, and I seems to have done a pretty good job on you if you're a clone. And making you look, well, you know what I mean. Making us think like them and look like them. So they did a pretty good job if they cloned us.
Well, maybe upon creation, we retained their knowledge, but we don't retain their memories. So maybe that's why we didn't know anything about ourselves when we first awoke.
Could be that's what it is.
Well, let's see. That's what it says for me. What does it say about you? It says here, the first Snoutzer, titled Snoutzer Alpha, was a success. However, Snoutzer was not loyal to his creator, so was also ejected upon creation.
Just because I don't like to follow orders.
So it says here, so Henry was a failed experiment, but Snoutzer was a success?
Yeah, but if I was such a success, why did they knock me off? Just because I wouldn't follow orders. Why didn't they try to train me?
It doesn't say anything else here regarding the originals. Well, there goes our lead. What now?
I don't know. Let's go exploring and see what else we can find. Maybe we'll run across more information somewhere else.
Yeah, maybe our next clue lies elsewhere.
Probably. I think we need to look around more.
Right. Let's get going.
Yeah, but which way? This way or that way?
Let's go this way.
All right.
All right. It's time to begin our next step out into the wilderness. All right. Ready?
Ready.